This video is for Romir, Sydney, Aubrielle, Jacob, and Chloe. I'm going to show you my concept map that I just finished, and I've wanted to share with you concept maps for a while. So I'm going to take you on a journey to see what a concept map is, how they're made, and how I made this one while doing a little research to get some of the information that I've added to it. So let's jump in. Couldn't help it. That's kind of how I feel about concept maps. So what is a concept map? It is a map of concepts. What is a concept? A concept is basically a thought or idea. So it's a map of ideas. That's all. And you can map anything. A concept map usually starts in the middle with a word or a couple words. You could start with your name or something that you love. You could just make the central bubble say things I love, and then you could branch out from there. I started with, I knew I wanted to learn about the brain, so I wrote it in the form of the question, what's special about the human brain? And it's good to add pictures to your concept map, not only because it will make it more interesting to look at later, but because somehow by adding pictures, research says that we remember things better when we have an image for it. So I thought about what's a key word in my question, and I realized special is a key word. So I looked up human brain, comma, special. So when I look up something on the internet, I don't just click on the top result. I scroll down a little bit and I look at the descriptions beneath the titles for that article. And I can learn a lot without even clicking on a website, just by reading this. Like this one says, humans have the largest brain of any primate. A primate like a gorilla, a monkey, an ape. And out of all of the primates, the humans have the largest brain. But then I learned that we don't have the largest brains in all the animal kingdom, and that the African bush elephant has a brain that is bigger and heavier than ours by a long shot. That surprised me, because I had been thinking that the heavier and bigger the brain is, the smarter it will be, the more power it will have, but that's not necessarily true. Pretty quick into my research, I found that if you're gonna research brains, you gotta know what a neuron is. Neuron. It was everywhere in the research I was doing. That was a key vocab word. I didn't know what that was until I researched it and learned more about it. And I learned that a good way of thinking about it is to imagine it like a tree, because they look kind of like trees. This is kind of cool. So the way that our brain sends messages and communicates is kind of like in the structure of a tree. This electrical signal gets passed along a neural circuit, and this is what it looks like. That's pretty cool. Scientists have figured that out. Yeah, so there's a bunch of new words that I learned, like dendrite and soma. So I'd get a little bit from one website, and then I'd get another from another website, and I kept searching and looking for things that made sense to me. This website article actually was using my exact question, so I had to click on that, and in the first paragraph, look what it says. Our remarkable cognitive capacity has allowed us to invent the wheel, build the pyramids, and land on the moon. And that was a really interesting thing to think about. So what's special about the human brain? Well, let's think about what's special about what we do. Since what we do uses a brain, it's all connected. We can make vehicles to travel through the sky like birds. Birds don't make cars that they can drive in so that they can travel on land, but we make planes that can travel in the sky like birds. That's pretty cool. Then I found that the newest part of the brain is called the cortex, neocortex. Neo means new. And the word cortex means bark or rind, like bark of a tree or rind of an orange. So it's the outer layer, the new outer layer of the brain. That helped me get an image for what makes our brains special. It's like the thing that's really doing the human, like making hard decisions and planning into the future, which is not easy. Those new things are part of the neocortex. Then I started imagining how cool it is that humans can imagine perfection. They can imagine a perfect world. And then we fight to make that perfect world real. That's one of the most special things about being human, imagining perfection. So I was able to write that, and then I found a quote by Einstein who said the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious, the knowledge of the existence of something unfathomable to us. The knowledge of the existence of something unfathomable to us. This .gov is a good indication that you have a good source of information. I didn't read all of this stuff when I did my research. I wanted to learn new things kind of quickly, and I didn't have time to read all of this. There's so much online, I'd never have time to read all that. So I had to read a little bit and get a sense of, is this a good text for me to read? Will I understand it? Or do I need to have 5 years of training in brain studies, neuroscience, for me to understand it? Because if I need that kind of expertise, I'm going to have to find something else, something that I can understand. Okay, so I can't talk about everything that I learned. I just wanted to share part of my journey with you. I was able to pick up a little bit of new information, and I was able to make this concept map, and I like it. I like the way it looks. I would make it a little different if I did it again, but I'll just make another concept map. My conclusion: what's special about the human brain? Answer: we still don't understand it. It's that complicated. It's so special that we still don't have answers, and we've been researching for thousands of years. So I used mostly markers to color mine. They make things pop out a lot because they're so vibrant. I used a little colored pencil for a couple little details, and then I used a white gel pen to go over some stuff because it was hard to read. Anyway, next step in research. Even if you're in the middle of stuff, or if you're at the end, make a concept map showing some of the ideas and information that is connected to your questions. Using this simple layout where you're making these bubbles, you can show how things are connected, and all you do is stick the main idea in a bubble, and then you make some branches or spokes coming from it, and then you put other details around it. Anything that you can think of that's connected works.